Apex Legends, the Battle Royale of the future. The spiritual successor and sequel to the Titanfall series. This game is complicated and layered. My job here is to help break down the complications and teach you the basics, and letting you figure it out from there. So, strap on your jetpacks, because we're dropping hot, fellas. Welcome to Apex Kindergarten. You guys thought I wouldn't throw my hat into the Apex content? My life is consumed by Apex. I can't escape. You wanna know how to play Apex? Just don't. All jokes aside, this game is a blast. But it's plagued with a lot of issues that you might want to officially look into before you start playing it. There's one thing I need to talk about before we get down to business, and that is Evo levels. Now, what's that? Evo is what powers your shield and causes it to upgrade. With an upgrade, each legend gets a choice between two perks. You with me so far? You get a choice at Evo level 2 and Evo level 3. Evo level 4 is really hard to achieve in concept, and therefore the only reward is the increased health. Each bar of your shield is 25 HP on top of your regular 100 hit points. You can gain a maximum of 125 additional hit points for a total of 225. You get Evo by doing damage or using class abilities, and you'll figure that out in later lessons. Now, enough of this boring game mechanics stuff. You guys will figure the rest of it out on your own. You're smart enough. But obviously, any questions you have, go ahead and ask them in the comments section. Now, for what you clicked on this lesson for, the recon legends. What are they and what can they do? What sets them apart from the other legends in the game? Well, as the name implies, they gather reconnaissance for their team and information that otherwise would not be available. The recon class has a passive where they can scan survey beacons, which reveal the location of every enemy squad on the map for 30 seconds. Now, to clarify, this is not live information. It reveals the location they were when the beacon was scanned. Each team can only use a survey beacon once before it becomes inoperable to them. But worry not, there are other beacons scattered throughout the maps. And of course, as I usually have to state, this information is accurate as of the current season, Season 21. Without further ado, let's get down to business. I'm sure you guys are ready for this lesson to start. Bloodhound is one of the 6 free legends you will have unlocked upon installing and downloading the game, so they will probably be the first one you play if you're new and interested in playing recon legends. What do they do exactly? Well, their passive is called Tracker, and it's a bit complicated to explain how it works, but basically everything an enemy does within a 90-second window leaves marks or clues that Bloodhound can follow. Additionally, a white raven will appear approximately 50 meters from you when you are within 180 meters of an enemy squad. Scanning it or running up to it and interacting with it will cause it to fly off and show the general direction of the nearest enemy squad. Their tactical ability is called Eye of the Allfather, and essentially in a 125-degree cone in front of you, any enemy or enemy traps will be scanned for 1 second for up to 75 meters away. It also reveals all clues in the same radius for the same time. It has a cooldown of 26 seconds. Their ultimate ability, Beast of the Hunt, makes Bloodhound an unsurpassable hunter. For 30 seconds, their vision turns grayscale and all enemies are highlighted red, while allies are highlighted blue, and they run 30% faster. Upon activation, immediately a white raven is deployed, which flies forward towards the nearest enemy. Each enemy downed will cause an additional white raven to spawn, and scanning a white raven during your ultimate will overcharge your ultimate by 25% per scan and refund the tactical charge. Now, you may feel all-powerful when you're in Beast of the Hunt, but you are not immortal. You are just as vulnerable as before, so don't let your pride or your ego take control because you can easily be put down by the same amount of bullets. Their ultimate has a cooldown of 4 minutes. Their level 2 perks are called Odin's Glare, which increases the duration of the scan from Eye of the Allfather from 1 second to 2 seconds. And the second one is Raven's Blessing, which allows Bloodhound to gain 25% ult charge while scanning white ravens while out of ult. Their level 3 perks are called Long Hunt, which increases the time by 5 seconds each time you get a knock while on ult. And the second one is called Taste of Blood, which heals you for 50 HP for every knock you have in ult. Bloodhound is a strong legend. They work best when you play them aggressively, like a hunter. They are designed to be a very good fragger, but most of their abilities rely on you being able to find your opponents before you can capitalize on the information the abilities provide. When I say aggressive, the only real aggressive utility they provide is when they're in their ult. But don't let that fool you, they still obviously can be super aggressive. Crypto is the next recon legend, and if I may say so myself, is probably the best one. That is a controversial take, but I think the amount of information and utility he can provide is unparalleled to any other recon legend. Unfortunately, and the reason he doesn't have a very high pick rate, is that he has an incredibly high skill floor when you compare him to legends like Seer and Bloodhound, which means he's very difficult to get started. Now what does he do? His passive is called Neuralink. It essentially allows him to share the scans he gets with his drone in a 30-meter radius with his entire team. On top of that, once he deploys his drone and or enters his drone, it will reveal the amount of squads within 200 meters of Crypto, not his drone, his body. Looking at champion banners, either while in his drone or while the drone is deployed, allows Crypto to see how many squads are in the radius as well. His tactical is his surveillance drone, nicknamed Hack, which is a drone that he can pilot around. On top of being linked with his passive and his ultimate ability, it can open doors, loot bins, grab ally respawn banners and respawn them, interact with survey beacons, and open vaults as long as Crypto has the key. It can be 200 meters away from him and has 50 health. Pressing the tactical button throws the drone out, and pressing it again allows you to enter it. Alternatively, holding the tactical button while deploying the drone causes Crypto to instantly enter it, and you can recall it with the utility button. It only has a cooldown if it's destroyed, and the cooldown is 40 seconds. His ultimate is called Drone EMP, which is an electromagnetic pulse that is centered around Hack, that does 50 damage to shields and destroys most enemy deployables. It takes 3 seconds to charge before detonating, and the drone can be destroyed before the detonation, canceling the ult. You still regain your ult charge though, don't worry. Affects all players and Crypto himself in a 30-meter radius, even through walls and other obstacles. Squad mates take no shield damage but are still slowed down, and the slow lasts roughly 1 to 2 seconds. Enemies hit by the EMP will have their minimaps disabled for 2 seconds, and it has a cooldown of 3 minutes. His level 2 perks are called Network Expansion, which increases his passive and ultimate range by 25%, and Quick Ping, which improves drone handling significantly. His level 3 perks are called Satellite Imagery, which increases the duration of scans after leaving Hack's LOS for 1.5 seconds, and Hackathon, which halves the cooldown of Hack upon being destroyed, and upon the drone either A, being destroyed, or B, you successfully using an EMP, you gain a 30% movement speed buff. Crypto is supposed to be played slower than the other recon legends, but don't let that fool you into spending your entire match on your drone. He should still be providing help with his weapons too, though obviously if the fight goes south, Crypto should be the first one gone as he is able to reset his team with very minimal risk. Seer, the fallen king of Apex, where once he ruled the world and was majorly oppressive. I had to resist myself for making a Viva La Vida or a Fallen Kingdom joke there. Now he's but a shadow of his former self. His niche and his abilities are very useful in the midst of battle, which contrasts with the rest of the recon legends, whose prowess is to track people down and provide information. The only legend who even matches Seer's aggression is Bloodhound, but even Seer overrules them in that regard. But what exactly does this legend do? His passive ability, Heartseeker, allows him to hear and visualize enemy heartbeats from up to 50 meters away in a 55-degree cone in front of him. An injured enemy's heart beats faster and more audibly than a healthy one. His tactical is called Focus of Attention, and it creates a cylindrical area of effect in front of Seer, which after 1.4 seconds hits all enemies inside, detonating. The cylinder is 50 meters long, has a diameter of 8 meters, and applies an 8-second silence, preventing the use of legend abilities and cancelling those already in progress. Enemies who are silenced by Seer are now also highlighted with a threat outline to Seer and his teammates, but only when they have LOS, which is line of sight. For the initial, 0.5 seconds, affected enemies are also slowed, while their health bars and body highlights are revealed to the squad, even through walls. It has a cooldown of 30 seconds. His ultimate ability is called Exhibit. Essentially, he grabs his cybernetic heart, which is full of the micro drones that do the scanning, and throws it down. It has a throw range of 15 meters, and for 25 seconds, it creates a 50-meter radius sphere, inside of which enemies who are walking, sprinting, or firing weapons are tracked with a footstep marker when walking or sprinting. If enemies fire their weapons, diamond markers will also appear on them for 1.25 seconds. Enemies who are stationary, crouching, or airborne are not revealed, but the number of enemies inside are shown on the players' and their squad mates' heads-up display. It can be destroyed by taking 125 damage and has a cooldown of 3 minutes. His level 2 perks are called Artist's Reach, which increases the range he can throw his ultimate from 15 meters to 35 meters, and Ultimate Cooldown, which reduces the cooldown on Exhibit by 30 seconds. His level 3 perks are called Long View, which increases the range of all of his abilities to 75 meters. That includes his passive, his tactical, and the radius of his ultimate. And his second one is called Focused Scan, which adds 1.5 seconds to his Focus of Attention scan, for a maximum of 2 seconds. Seer's, like I said in the beginning, Seer's niche is, in the midst of battle, he is his most useful. He is the kind of legend that you want to have on your team during a fight, not before or after. That is where his information is its most vital. And now for the last of the recon legends, Vantage. Frankly, she's the least popular, even accounting for crypto. The reason for that is because she incentivizes a slower playstyle and prioritizes taking more long-range engagements. Why is that? Well, it's because she's a sniper. Her passive, Spotter's Lens, is an eyepiece that she has, and it applies to any scope of 3 times zoom or greater. She'll be able to see bullet drop markers, and if there is someone in her crosshair, she can see their legend, how many members are alive in their squad, and what shield level they have, as well as their distance from Vantage herself. Much like Seer can, she can ADS without a weapon, and it gives her a built-in 3 times zoom, which applies the same benefits except for the bullet drop marker. Her tactical ability is called Echo Relocation. Essentially, she sends her trusty pet bat Echo out to a max of 55 meters, and locks onto his signature, and then launches towards him. This only works if you have line of sight on where he is positioned. He functions similarly to Hack. You can reposition him by tapping a tactical button, launch immediately after deploying him by holding the button, and recall him by pressing the utility button. And to launch to him even after he is deployed, you do still have to hold the tactical button. Unlike Hack, though, Echo cannot be harmed. Upon reaching Echo's location with your launch, you can press the jump button to double jump, which gives you an extra 20 meters or so of distance. If you crouch before double jumping, you will turn off the boosters and land in a slide, completely skipping the double jump. This ability has a cooldown of 20 seconds, and you can still reposition Echo while it's on cooldown and recall him. Her ultimate, Sniper's Mark, is one of the most unique ones in the game. She has a unique sniper rifle which holds 6 shots. Each bullet does 50 base damage to the body and 75 base damage on a headshot, and once they are hit, for 10 seconds, any damage they take is increased by 15%, and it doesn't stack with itself. Subsequent hits from her ult on a marked enemy instead deal 2 times damage and reset the mark to 10 seconds, and she can mark up to 5 enemies at a time. What makes this ability unique compared to the others is that you gain a bullet every 40 seconds, but she doesn't gain all bullets until the 4-minute mark. So every 40 seconds you will have at least 1 bullet in her sniper. Her level 2 perks are called Insider's Knowledge, which gives her access to scanning ring consoles, which is something we'll get into in later lessons, and Ultimate Efficiency, which increases the amount of bullets she gets from an ultimate accelerant from 2 bullets to 4. Her level 3 perks are called Echo Assist, which gives her a smoother and improved double jump on Echo Relocation, and Sharpshooter, which refunds her tactical cooldown on successful hits with Sniper's Mark. Much like I said earlier, she incentivizes a slower playstyle and kind of prioritizes taking ranged engagements. The best use of Echo is to close the distance between you and your team if you're taking those ranged engagements, or to find good vantage points, no pun intended, in order to make the most use of your ranged engagements, or your ranged options, rather. Surprise, Apex content. I'm starting a new series, obviously, as you could see. This video took a bit longer to get up than I meant it to. It's because I got sick. I'm still sick, but I got sick of... Well, sick is a funny word. I just got tired of seeing this in my clips, and I wanted it to be gone. I wanted to post it. So, I did. That's all the Recon Legends, though. This was your first class of Apex Kindergarten. Let me know what you think. Like I said at the beginning of the video, any questions, feel free to leave in the comments section. Please try to keep it civil down there too, as usual, because I do like to try and foster as good an environment as possible. As usual though, like if you liked, dislike if you didn't. That is what it's there for, after all. Subscribe if you want to. I'm not the boss of you. And I think that's a wrap. Class is dismissed.